Premier League season is nearly over, but for Leicester City fans, the misery continues. Financial woes aren't going away, with 3 charges placed to their name. Jamie Vardy had taken part in his final game for the club, and now some Leicester fans will consider the rumoured appointment of Russell to pile on top of that. After his dismal time in the Premier League with the Saints was cut to a short, the Scotsman is seeking for a new club. Rangers and a few other clubs have loomed around the 39-year-old's name, but the Foxes stand tallest in their supposed interest in bringing in their new gaffer. So Russell, as we all know, had experienced a very enjoyable season through the playoffs, bringing Southampton up to the Premier League. However, the Premier League didn't treat him too kindly. In the 16 games Martin was in charge in the Premier League, he had been victorious just once. Within that period, opponents found the back of the net 37 times, and Martin's side had only scored themselves just 11. It was simply diabolical. But we know this, so let's take a look at 2 Russell Martin sides statistically that were slightly more successful, then his style of play and whether or not he suits Leicester City. Here was his Swansea City side, and here was his playoff winning Southampton side. There's a lot of similarities. Most of those comparisons can be drawn between what they do on the ball. They spend a lot of time on it, but the approach of that works very well when translating to attacking. Pretty high XG from both sides, high shots on target percentage, high shot creating actions, and plenty of goals. So a pretty successful attacking approach in the second division, but a lot of goals conceded, which is very worrying. Seemingly a pattern amongst a host of the teams he's taken charge of. Moving on to his style of play now, we've gathered already that he likes possession. He likes his teams to have complete control. When there's mass control of a game, it minimises the opposition's time with the ball, but also the opportunity for them to hurt you. Those spontaneous random actions on the pitch that we all love are very difficult to control for the opposition, so the more possession, the less room for that. There are moments of chaos that Martin doesn't want. At Southampton, he usually lined up in a 4-2-3-1/4-3-3 like shape, but adapted to a 5 at the back for the playoffs. Southampton in the Championship were very fluid, free-flowing, intricate and precise in their build-up. Within their low build-up, it was a 4-2-4/4-1-2. They used the goalkeeper in Bazunu amongst the build-up with his feet and looked to bait the press, find that extra man and play through a team. It's a pretty consistent theme in all phases that Martin wants his side to find the extra man. When they find the extra man, that's the trigger in the play that progresses the ball much faster. It could be a few short passes, then one direct one, but the free-flowing nature that's handed to every player ensures everybody gets on the ball. Nobody's isolated. Once we've moved up the pitch into the middle third, it's a 2-3-5 or a 3-2-5. Martin adapts his shape and the different roles, but ultimately look for the same end product. At the start of the season, the 2-3-5 was achieved by the 2 fullbacks inverting inside to join the defensive midfielder, creating the 3. Often, Flynn Downs. Downs' midfield partner would move up as a 10, with another 10 next to him creating a 5, similar to Enzo Maresca with Ndidi and Dewsbury Hall. But this changes. Sometimes, against some teams, the fullback's position a lot wider. Against some teams, the midfield pivot would remain. When they have the ball here, they look to push a high line to pin back the opposition and avoid any counter-attacks or transitions, achieving complete and utter control. Along with that control, players continue to move looking to create overload centrally, often triangles to help them play through teams. Those triangles could be achieved by anyone, centrally or anywhere. It could be out wide. It could be the fullbacks, midfielders, even centre-backs, and the striker. The striker is handed more freedom, looking to drop deep, ensuring he isn't isolated out of the game. Once they attack the box, they overload it with numbers, especially on crosses. Considering they push a pretty high line, it would be rude not to. And when the wide player has the ball, they are often supported by the higher rate on their side of the pitch, often an underlapping run or a simple passing combo. But if not, the wide player looks to cross towards the back post. A lot of teams do now. It's easier than attacking the near post, and if the cross is underhit towards the back post, then the ball still reaches a central target. Then, transitionally, his Southampton side attacked pretty well on the counter, or just in a quick move. It's often a 3-3-3 or 4-3-3, which leads to some very good chances and good utilisation of their fast attacking threats, successfully. His goal scored record amongst his championship teams show this evidently. Off the ball now though, it's often a man-to-man high press. Not always, because at the end of the 23-24 campaign he shifted to a 5-3-2 off the ball that was very successful in keeping Leeds quiet at Wembley. Probably his best out of possession performance in his managerial career, but he likes his sides to be aggressive, demanding them to be athletic, and you can't exactly identify a clear formation amongst this because, like most man-to-man press, it's coordinated in the sense that it tracks down the movements of each player closely. In the moment of a turnover where Saints lost the ball, the counter-press was very effective. As they had so many players high, it was easier for them to trap them in their own half, supporting Martin's eagerness to control a game of football. So how does all of this fit Leicester City? Well, the players thoroughly enjoyed a very similar style under Enzo Maresca, showing a clear miss for his presence at the club after he left, which suits the likes of Harry Winks, Yannick Vestergaard, Ricardo Pereira, Val Faz, and with his fantastic ability to communicate, transform the morale of players, they will really buy into his idea. But to be quite honest with you, it's not a fit long term, and I'm not going to sit here and convince you otherwise. His football will be great in the Championship against much lower quality opposition, of course. He'll unleash the best out of the squad's best players like Fatawu, Mavididi, Ricardo, and on appearance earlier this season on Monday Night Football, he was asked what he'd do differently. He mentioned that he would want his side to be more aggressive off the ball, more fouls, leaning in more into the dark arts of football. He also said if he could do it all again, he'd prioritise athleticism in recruitment. But the big issue is that Russell Martin will be severely undersupplied by the board at Leicester City, and the recruitment, or supplied with completely poor recruitment. Leicester financially are in a very bad place, so hiring a manager whose football needs very good players to survive at this level doesn't make sense. Considering Leicester City can't attract them players or don't have them players, you need a manager who can maximise the most out of what they've got and overperform, and one of course that adapts. To survive in any realm of living, you need to adapt to survive, and Russell Martin doesn't do enough of that at all. His versions of adapting simply are ineffective due to player quality. Leicester can't bring in that player quality. Leicester don't have that player quality, so how is it going to work? And that's of course assuming Leicester get back in the Premier League with the points deduction that are coming their way. It's a recipe for disaster long term. His defensive record speaks for itself at all levels. I'm unsure as to how the board can watch their defence this season and other teams in their attempts to stay up over the years and believe Russell Martin is the right man. This is all without mentioning how the fans may oppose to him and his football. Leicester have beaten and thrashed Russell Martin's side multiple times at every meeting, and booed and jeered Enzo Maresca's style of play at times too, even when they were winning. Of course, Russell Martin has a better idea now of what he could do better in an attempt to survive, but again, that's dependent on recruitment, and Leicester haven't been too good at that as of late. So all round, it's a fit for the Championship, just not in the event of promotion. And when you look at Leicester City's squad and Russell Martin's style of play, it lacks a lot of the profiles that he needs in his side, such as a left back, number 8s, striker, and you could even say centre backs. He may not get any signings at Leicester City with the embargo lifting over their head. So from a Leicester perspective, why would you get Russell Martin? But from a Russell Martin perspective as well, why would he go there? And I personally like Russell Martin. His sides are very fun to watch, and he comes across brilliantly in interviews, podcasts, with a clear, very interesting insight into the game. But to me, he's a manager that he and his football will work better with better quality footballers, higher level resources, just like Vincent Kompany, just like Enzo Maresca, just like a lot of heavy possession based managers in football today. Thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to smash a like and subscribe to the channel. Who should Leicester hire as their next manager? Should they keep Ruud van Nistelrooy? Should they get Russell Martin? Or should they go for someone else like Danny Rowe or Sean Dyche? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.